in your classroom, you are a professor, you're there to teach, but you also are quite a comedian in your classes. Is that just something you like to incorporate in your style of teaching, or is that just something that comes naturally to you?
I have to be honest that I haven't sat in any of my colleagues' classes. It's going back to when I was in classes. Of course, PowerPoint didn't exist back then, but the overhead projector did, which is really the old-fashioned version of what's been done on computers, not as powerful as what people use computers for in class. But I learned more from the faculty who wrote on chalkboards than I did from the ones who came in with the canned overhead slides. And I was more impressed by the faculty who just rattled the stuff off without having to look at their note cards and so on. So that kind of has dictated a large part of my teaching style. I also, and this is going to be, I'm sure it's against a lot of education research, but I personally don't feel that it's my role to read the textbook, especially in a conceptual subject like chemistry. I think that it's more important for me to give the students a different viewpoint, if necessary. I mean, obviously, I don't go in there saying I'm going to be different from the textbook in every way possible. But if I feel that there is an alternative way to do things to compare to the textbook, or if the textbook doesn't explain something terribly well, or if the textbook is using bad examples, then I'll just do my own stuff, or I'm arrogant enough in that way. Whereas I know a lot of my colleagues will generate PowerPoints, generate overheads and so on, generate their notes directly from the textbook and use the same examples as the textbook and so on. So I really don't know. One of the things, of course, about university professors is that very few of us have had any formal training in teaching. In chemistry, you go into grad school where you enroll as research, your salary gets paid for maybe the first year, 2 years by being a TA in lab, but there's very little actual teaching there. It's mostly to stop people blowing themselves up. Then you go as a postdoctoral research associate or fellow. Most people don't go close to a classroom. And then you're hired on as faculty and boom, each class. So we have nobody mentioned Piaget in any of our classes to us and so on. So I don't know whether my thoughts on teaching are backed up by educational research, by educational thought. I know that they work. I don't know if switching would have worked better, but I'm kind of, I'm willing to change things as necessary, but I don't want to change it too much at this stage in my career, kind of thing.
Well, a good majority of students, they always say, the professors, they only go for what's in the book, they only use the examples, and they never kind of go beyond that. And it's always kind of difficult sometimes to actually read those examples in the book and actually take what it is from that book and implement it into work. So I think for a good majority of students, they like it when a professor kind of goes away from the book, still correlates to the book, still a correlation, but it's different. It's something they can grasp.
Right. Yeah. But you see, I've also heard the argument that students will read the book with students, right? And maybe not understand something. So what you do is you address the thing exactly that they don't understand. You say, well, this is what they meant by this sentence. This is how they work that example through. And so the teaching clarifies the book. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that what I do seems to work okay. So, but I'm sure that if I sat down with some people from the College of Education, they would be able to educate me in that way.
Does it agitate you though, just with students who walk around campus wearing UT shirts?
It drives me nuts. Absolutely drives me nuts. My personal attitude with that is that you can support Texas in the Rose Bowl against USC all you want, but there is absolutely no reason for a UH student to be advertising a university that they're not going to. If they wanted to go there that badly, then they should have gone there. If they weren't accepted by them, well, why support somebody who rejected you? And you're going to get your degree from U of H. It's going to be absolutely applicable to the rest of your life. What people think of you have H degrees. And again, this goes back to the pride in your campus, pride in your degree, and so on. You're not displaying that pride if you're walking around in that disgusting, hideous orange colour, which I don't see why anyone would do it, because it is such an ugly colour.
It is.
I mean, at least maroon isn't too disgusting. You know,
Or it's an aggy colour.
It's an aggy colour, but you know, at least you're not being totally hideous fashion-wise by wearing it. But yeah, no, I see no reason for any University of Houston student to wear the opposing colours. I don't wear my University of Alabama shirts on campus. I have about 60 of them. If I'm watching an Alabama game on TV, I'll wear them. I'm a big Alabama fan. Houston and Alabama are actually playing in 2007, and that's going to be a really tough one for me. But I'm not going to wear that Alabama apparel on campus because it's not appropriate. It's not the University of Alabama, it's the University of Houston. So we need to, I think all the students need to realise that and demonstrate it.